If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such a that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying, and obviously you don't get this far.
Me personally, I can't do anything. I think it's just down to money. I think on his side. So I will fight in the UFC. We have one, but in my division we have two, which is weird. I don't like it. Jon Jones doesn't want to take the risk at the moment, so I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit.
Tom Aspinall recently took jabs at the UFC, calling its policies ridiculous and strongly criticizing the continued delay of his fight with Jon Jones. Meanwhile, Dana White also shared his thoughts while revealing a bigger issue among fighters in the UFC. He claimed that many fighters hide behind the scenes and only pretend to want bigger fights. However, he went on to praise Tom Aspinall for consistently being genuine both on and off camera, appreciating his eagerness to take on big-name opponents.
Another one.
He wants to fight Jon Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat Jon Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it. You know, don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
At the same time, Chael Sonnen expressed his frustration over the ongoing rumors about a potential fight between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones that have yet to be finalized. He stated that despite closely following the situation on YouTube since retiring from the UFC, he hasn't seen any official confirmation regarding when the bout will actually take place.
Tom versus Jon. Is this one done? Oh my goodness. So, I haven't witnessed anything that has fallen off like this. I've been at this for I think 8 years, but I believe I was the first fighter. I'm excluding Joe. Joe goes into a different category, Rogan. I believe I was the first fighter to come out with a YouTube page. So it was 8 years ago. Been at this a long time. I could be off though. I could be at it 9 or 10 years. 8 sounds right. A lot of experiences. I have not personally had anything fall off the cliff like Aspinall and Jones.
Addressing the concerns, Tom Aspinall recently shared his perspective on the High Performance podcast. He stated that he's working to become the highest performing heavyweight fighter in the UFC, but believes Jon Jones is not yet willing to take the risk of facing him. Aspinall also confirmed that negotiations for the fight are still ongoing.
I'm trying to. I can't do anything else. I'm trying to pick a fight with him as much as I can, but at the minute I'm unsuccessful. So, yeah, that's what I want. I want to be called. See, we have a thing in MMA where it's different to boxing in terms of there's one champion at heavyweight, one guy, heavyweight division. Whereas boxing, you have different like organisation stuff. There can be like 4 or 5, even 6 sometimes. World champions at heavyweight. In the UFC, we have one, but in my division, we have 2, which is weird. I don't like it. Jon Jones doesn't want to take the risk at the moment, so I actually have a meeting tonight about it, so we're going to find out what happens tonight.
At the same time, Tom Aspinall pointed out that he's doing everything he can to make the fight happen, but believes Jon Jones is more focused on the financial side of the deal. He stated that he's ready to fight Jones anytime and anywhere, but the lack of confirmation is due to Jones prioritizing money above all else.
Me personally, I can't do anything. I think it's just down to money. I think on his side. So I will fight whenever, wherever he wants, but it's down to money, I think.
Tom Aspinall went on to reveal that throughout the entire process of pursuing a fight with Jon Jones, he has only met Jones once, in New York. He also shared that Dana White is rarely present in these meetings, and instead, another representative usually handles the negotiations, leaving the fighters to work things out on their own.
No, I never speak to him personally. It's done, so you got Dana White, who is, everybody knows Dana White, he's the face of the UFC. The last meeting I had, Dana was actually there. which is the first for me. Usually it's done with another guy called Hunter. Hunter like stays in the shadows a little bit. Like he's the guy who all the fighters speak to directly. So tonight will probably be Hunter. I'm not sure if Dana's going to be there or not, but Hunter is the guy who does the deals. And we just go in a room, chat. It used to be done over the phone and stuff, but with the bigger fights, it's usually when you're talking about world title fights, usually done face-to-face. So.
Further revealing details about his recent meeting with Dana White and Jon Jones in London, Tom Aspinall blasted their approach during what he described as a frustrating and vague discussion. He pointed out that every time he's called into a meeting, he's told a plan will be presented, something he finds almost laughable at this point. Aspinall expressed his frustration, saying that throughout his life, he's been focused on making clear choices, yet both Dana White and Jon Jones continue to complicate the situation by constantly circling around the deal without offering anything concrete.
Well, this is what I don't understand, to be honest, because they actually said to me that we're going to discuss the plan tonight and they're going to give me the full breakdown. And for me personally, I've now had 10 UFC fights, and I've had however many other fights in my career as well outside the UFC. I've never been given a plan before. It's just like, this is the date, let me know the location, when, and I'll show up. So this is really rare for me. I don't know what to expect. I'm really interested actually to see like what is the plan? Do you know, like there's two guys, I'm one of them, I'm in. What's the plan? So I'm interested, I don't know.
Despite all the drawn-out negotiations surrounding the fight, Tom Aspinall also shared his thoughts on how he envisions the matchup against Jon Jones. He praised Jones for his remarkable career and vast experience, but made it clear that when Jones finally decides to face him, he'll be going up against one of the most concussive punchers in the UFC, someone who intends to fully exploit any weakness.
I think Jon is amazing at MMA. I think he's literally you can never be a complete UFC fighter. It's impossible. That's one of the things that draws me to the sport so much, is why I'm so obsessed about it. It's because you're constantly chasing perfection, but you're never going to get it. No one's ever going to be the perfect, complete fighter. But Jon, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. That being said, he's got a lot of miles on the clock, and he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it.
Speaking on the entire situation, Chael Sonnen voiced his opinion fiercely, stating that while he can't speak for Tom Aspinall's intentions, he is certain the fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall won't be happening anytime soon. He emphasized that anyone who believes the fight is imminent is simply mistaken.
Being silly or seeing something like maybe you can't pull off. Maybe I'm being nice when I use the expression too good to be true, but it still comes to the same situation, which is you, the audience, in my opinion, based on the data that I've personally seen, you don't believe this fight's going to happen. And if I can succeed at one thing today, I would like to correct that. You're wrong. This fight is going to happen. In fact, this fight is going to happen next. You will not see Jon Jones fight and it not be Tom Aspinall. I can give you that as an assurance. I can't do it the other way. I cannot tell you that there's no scenario where Tom Aspinall fights that it would be against anyone but Jon Jones. I can't do that. I'm very close.
Chael Sonnen further stated that any media reports suggesting the fight is happening are completely baseless, calling them false and misleading. He pointed out that Jon Jones is simply enjoying his time in the spotlight by talking about Tom Aspinall, but there's no real commitment behind it. Sonnen hinted that the delays are ultimately tied to Dana White's inaction, subtly suggesting that this might be a case of Jones dodging the fight altogether.
Very close, but I'm not completely there. It is an absolutely perfect statement the other way. You will not see Jon Jones fight if he's not fighting Tom Aspinall. And I can go further. You will see Jon Jones fight. I can go further. You will see Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall. All the reports that you've heard that Jon is holding this fight up, they're not true. Jon has gone to the media and he's had his fun. That's not the test. The litmus test is when that phone rings and it's Dana White or his office. What is said in that moment? That's the only way you go into the category of delaying and or ducking. That did not happen. That is a false report.
This was further reflected in Jon Jones's recent comments about Tom Aspinall, where he took a jab at him with a mocking tone. Jones referred to Aspinall as someone from the influencer generation, implying that he doesn't take him seriously as a contender. He emphasized that while this opportunity might represent a major payday for Aspinall, he has no intention of giving him the chance.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot. But he's just, you know, with his, you know, he's 30, so he's from this influencer generation where you hop online and the t-shirt sales and all that. I'm past that type of stuff. I'm like, bro, if you had a little bit more respect, then maybe we could have worked something out, you know, but I just don't even want to do business with him. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business, and fighting me gives him an opportunity to change his life forever. And I don't even want to give him the opportunity.
Jon Jones went on to assert that Tom Aspinall doesn't truly deserve a chance to face him, stating that he's a seasoned veteran, while Aspinall is just a big mouth, constantly making noise with comments aimed at him. He further claimed that Aspinall lacks the accolades and accomplishments needed to earn a fight of this magnitude, adding that he would prefer to face someone else instead.
Like he just played his cards wrong with me personally. And you know, I'm 3 years from being a 40-year-old grown man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, the press conference, going through the whole shebang with him, I'd rather not do. Pajeda on the other side, respectful, cool, barely says much. It's like, I'll do business with you. I would risk it all with a human being like you. You actually have the accolades to back up your shit. This other guy is just a big mouth who's hot today. There's been so many guys who's hot today who are just gone. You know, Sergey was in the same position not too long ago. Now he's starting to fall off already.
Speaking on this in a recent podcast, Tom Aspinall shared his thoughts, asserting that Jon Jones is actually afraid to fight him and called him a dodger. He went on to blast Dana White for constantly feeding Jones's ego and laughed at the irony of Jones being held in such high regard despite past controversies, including being labeled by some as a drug user.
Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes. Jon is conning the public. The fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year.
Is that fight fucking happening?
The UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit. That's debatable when you start putting in about drug tests and stuff like that, I think. Damn.
What drug are you talking about specifically?
Yeah.
Blasting Jon Jones, Colby Covington also accused him of ducking Tom Aspinall for a long time. He criticized those who continue to call Jones the GOAT, arguing that he has damaged his own legacy by avoiding the fight with Aspinall. Covington even took a personal jab, calling Jones a coward and referencing his past controversies, including allegations of domestic abuse.
For sure, John's scared of him. He's ducking him, man. He don't want to fight. That's why he's like, oh, I'll vacate the title. I'll fight the number 10 guy. Scared. Why do people think Jon Jones is a GOAT? He literally destroyed his legacy by ducking Tom Aspinall. The guy's a coward, and he's a woman beater. He beat his Jon Jones.
Reflecting on the potential matchup, Paddy Pimblett emphasized that this fight needs to happen. He noted that while he's a friend of Tom Aspinall and wants to see him win, he could never bet against Jon Jones. Pimblett highlighted that Jones not only brings unmatched experience, but also possesses exceptional fight IQ and a strategic mindset that makes him a master at dismantling his opponents.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall blasted Jon Jones for his past use of PEDs, stating that anyone who uses performance-enhancing drugs against their opponents without disclosure is a cheat in his eyes. He disagreed with calling Jon Jones the greatest fighter in UFC history, citing his drug use as a significant stain on his legacy. Aspinall acknowledged that this would likely hurt Jones, but emphasized that it is what it is.
What do you think you have where you're better than him?
Well, Jon, let me first start by saying Jon is absolutely elite, and I completely agree with the notion that he's one of the best fighters ever.
Is he the greatest?
Potentially, but the way that I look at it is he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. If you're on steroids or whatever, I don't think he was on steroids, but he was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. If you're on PEDs and your opponent isn't, that's absolutely cheating in my book, unless you're both allowed to do it.
You've never taken anything like
Absolutely not.
that? Uncensored.
I don't know. That's his
Do you care?
prerogative. No, I'm not bothered. Jon Jones seems to get his feelings hurt a little bit.
While Tom Aspinall has often claimed that Jon Jones is avoiding him, he now suggests that Jones is simply waiting for enough money to make a fight deal happen. He asserted that while Jon Jones isn't a snowflake, his character doesn't sit well with him. Aspinall pointed out that Jones's focus on the financial side of things rather than the fight itself doesn't sit right with him either.
A lot.
I think he's a little snowflake.
I don't think he's a snowflake, no, but...
Is he ducking you?
No, he's trying to get more money. I don't think he is ducking me. He's trying to get more money.
Speaking on the matter, Dana White discussed his stance with Piers Morgan. He pointed out that performing exceptionally inside the octagon and living a different lifestyle outside of it are two separate things. In his view, Jon Jones leads an impressive lifestyle and went on to express his disagreement with Tom Aspinall's claim that Jones isn't the greatest due to his past drug use.
He said Jon Jones doesn't deserve to be the greatest of all time because of the drugs issue in his past.
That I disagree with 100%. What you deserve and what you go out and get are two totally different things. When you think about Jon Jones and how good he really is, then you think about the lifestyle he was living outside of the octagon, it actually makes it more impressive.
Meanwhile, speaking on whether Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall, Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch also shared their reactions. Sean expressed his confusion, questioning how the greatest of all time would be avoiding a fight with Tom Aspinall. On the other hand, Tim Welch pointed out that there's likely more going on in Jon Jones's mind, asserting that he's not someone who would simply duck an opponent.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time, greatest of all time, Jon Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. And then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime, so you're still the greatest of all time. But are you? Like, what do you do? Just completely avoid that fight?
I don't think Jon Jones is thinking that way. I think Jon Jones looks at every human, and I could...
If that was the case, you don't think he would be saying after Stipe, I'm gonna fucking destroy Tom?
Yeah, maybe he gets older and he's got all this weight on him now, and who knows, some injuries could...
Looking at the whole situation, Tom Aspinall went on to advise Dana White to organize a 4-fighter tournament. He suggested bringing together top contenders from different divisions to compete and determine who truly is the best heavyweight among them all.
MSG, November. Why don't we do a tournament? We'll do Jon, Stipe, me, Alex, and do a 4-man tournament, 2 fights in one night, and let's find out who the real heavyweight champion of the world is. Like, we've got the best heavyweight of all time, we've got the best MMA fighter of all time, we've got the light heavyweight champion, and then we've got me, who's just a poxy interim champion. Do you know what I mean? Let's do that, 2 fights in one night, put it to Dana.
In a fiery segment from his recent podcast appearance, Tom Aspinall didn't hold back, delivering one of his most direct criticisms yet of the UFC, Dana White, and Jon Jones. Aspinall began by slamming the UFC's handling of the heavyweight division, calling the organization's approach chaotic and inconsistent. He voiced his frustration over repeated delays, lack of clear communication, and what he sees as favoritism toward Jon Jones. Every time we have a meeting, I'm told there's a plan coming, but it never comes, Tom said. It's like chasing shadows. Meanwhile, Jon's out there doing interviews like he's calling the shots. The heat is on and Tom Aspinall isn't backing down. From calling out Jon Jones as a dodger to blasting Dana White and the UFC for their handling of the heavyweight division, this saga is far from over. Is Jones protecting his legacy or just stalling for a bigger payday? And will the UFC finally give fans the showdown they've been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell for all the latest in combat sports. Until next time, stay ready, because this fight drama is just getting started.